I think Tony, Jamie, Janie, and Lucy have all been doing oil camp, and Jessica, you have as well. She says, oh, okay, so that's awesome. Okay, Ames, do you want to wait for a little bit longer, or do you want to get started?
We can get started. We've just gone live on the Essentialists Facebook page, so if anybody is watching from the Essentialists, hello and welcome. In there, you can ask questions too, and we will try and answer them for you. I'll try and keep an eye on both pages, the Zoom and the Facebook. And I think Buffy's going to lead the class tonight because she is all about the oil camp. And Buffy, you just tell us when you want us to step in.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So, ladies, if hands up, has anyone been to an introductory type class before, a live introductory class? No, you're new to that, other than Amy, yes, a couple times. So tonight is, we really want to just give you a high-level overview of oils. And for those of you that have been doing oil camp, really kind of reiterate all the information that you've been getting over the last 10 days so that it sinks into your memory. Because the whole idea with natural medicine and what we're hoping for you is that you get to the point whereby when things that come up in your own life that you can actually draw on natural remedies for yourself and use them as like a first aid kit. And so essential oils are just one part of plant-based medicine. They're basically the volatile aromatic compounds of plants, which is like the most potent part of the plant. It's the immune system of the plant, and it helps protect that plant from external threats. So the great thing about that is we can use those oils on our own bodies, on our own human bodies, and they work really synergistically with our body, but they also protect our bodies in a very similar way to what that extract would do for that plant. So it enables that plant to thrive in its natural environment, despite, rain, inclement weather, pests, animals coming by, toxins, what have you, not enough nutrients in the soil. So we're taking those little immune systems, really strong immune systems, and using them for our own health. So that's my hope for you, that the more you read, the more you learn, the more you actually do. That's the key, which is why I always sort of say to people, make sure you've got a couple of oils in front of you, because the more you actually practice it in your own life, for yourself, for your partner, for your kids, if you've got kids, the more you'll start going, my son had really bad asthma, was coughing all the time, really bad respiratory issues, and I use that combination of easy air and peppermint, and it's made a massive difference. He's not using his inhaler anymore. Or, I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat, or I had a bit of a tickle in my throat, which normally always turns into a cold. I sprayed the back of my throat with a combination of water with a drop of On Guard and oregano, and oh my goodness, the next day the cold's gone, like it's gone, the tickle's gone. So just having those little experiences for yourself is really what's going to be powerful for you to then feel confident in knowing that when things come up at home, in your family, with your loved ones, that you could actually draw on these without necessarily having to race down to the GP or even to your local friendly naturopath, because what ends up happening with a lot of clients that I work with, most, so it's not your guys' fault, it's not our fault, it's the system, it's the system whereby, for the most part, when you go to an A&E or a GP and something's happened, some sort of infection, cold, virus, straight away the first thing is antibiotics. And if it's not antibiotics, it is some other medication. Like, oh, you've got high cholesterol, well, let's put you on statins. Oh, your diabetes markers are up. Oh, well, let's put you on diabetes medication. Oh, you're coughing and you've got asthma symptoms. Well, let's put you on an inhaler. Rather than, well, hang on, why are you coughing? Why have you got these symptoms? Why is your HbA1c marker up? Why is your cholesterol high? Just wanted to share an amazing experience that I just had today with a client who was, and she's been using oils alongside some other, plant-based techniques, a lot of which are diet related. Her liver function tests 6 weeks ago were indicative of liver disease. Today, she shared her liver tests with me, and she's in normal range in 6 weeks. This shows you the power of plant-based medicine, both in terms of food, what we put in our mouth, but also what we put on our bodies. And we're going to explore that tonight. But what we do know is that what we put on our bodies, what we breathe in through our nose, and we will talk about this more, goes into our bloodstream, goes into our cells, just like a piece of food. So we treat all those things with the same care. That's what we want to do. So tonight we're just going to be covering a few simple things, 3 amazing things that we love about essential oils, that hopefully you are going to love about essential oils, 3 ways that you can use them, which you're probably already doing some of these already. We're going to talk a little bit about how and the why of those. The 3 ways that you can join our community if you haven't already. I think most of you have. And then the 3 types of members that we have within our community, and how you can be one of those different 3. So that's going to be what we're talking about tonight, and then hopefully we'll finish nice and early so that you guys can ask all your questions. That's what we love doing, is asking all the gnarly questions. So I'm going to start off by actually passing to Amy to teach you the first amazing thing about essential oils.
Hi guys. The first amazing thing about essential oils is that they're 100% natural and safe. So unlike modern medicines that have side effects, these beautiful oils actually have side benefits, which is what I love about them. If we grab our little bottle of peppermint, this is the one that I love to start with, put a drop in your hands. This is just because I've just had a massive dinner and I need pepping up. Give them a rub together. Get those molecules dancing. And give yourself a hit of peppermint. So, natural and safe. We do need to use them safely. We're going to cover the 3 safe ways after this on how to use them safely. But that's one beautiful way. So that 1 drop of peppermint that you just put in your hand is the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. That is freaking amazing. So these little bottles that you see here contain 260 drops in them, which is a lot. And that is equivalent to 260 doses. So very, very strong. We like to treat our oils with a lot of respect. So if you think of a peppermint leaf and how much peppermint matter would have to be distilled to get these 260 drops, these are about 70 times stronger than the plant itself. So very, very strong and very potent. The thing that I was most drawn to with doTERRA is the purity of the product. So I come from a food background. I used to have a Whole Foods business, and I know how difficult it is to source pure organic product. You never know where it comes from. You never know if whoever you're getting it from is being honest about where it's coming from, and you just hope for the best. With doTERRA, we don't have to hope for the best. We know through their CPTG testing, so certified tested grade oils, that we are getting an organic product that is therapeutic. So we can actually use it for the things that they say that we can use it for. So this peppermint oil, according to the Therapeutic Goods Association in Australia, is good for headaches. So as well as using it aromatically, we can also put a little drop on our thumb if we're feeling a headache coming on. Press it into the top of our mouth and blow our brains away. And the cool thing about that, unlike what I used to do, which was popping pills every day, ibuprofen, Panadol, etc., I am not only getting the benefits of it taking my headache away or relieving my headache pain, but I am also being oxygenated, I'm being woken up, I'm getting all of these side benefits that you just don't get with modern medicine. So I love the first amazing thing about essential oils, which is that they're 100% natural and safe. The second amazing thing is about essential oils is that it is often more effective than many modern medicines. And Rebecca McGinty is going to talk about this for us.
Now that I'm completely high on peppermint, I can feel it like right up my nostrils. It's beautiful. And I've just rubbed it on my neck as well because I've been sitting at my desk all day. So that's awesome. Thanks, Amy. Okay, so just like Buffy was talking about before, it's amazing how many medications we kind of come across, and it's incredible how many people are probably on unnecessary ones. And I think it's important to note that, you know, we're not saying in any way that you should come off all of your medications, and we don't try to diagnose either, but when you can, you know, but it's incredibly empowering being able to choose essential oils to be able to do that if possible. And so, yeah, there's a lot of research that's actually been done about how essential oils enter our bodies and actually penetrate the cell wall. Because, of course, if we think about antibiotics, like, for example, they're often water soluble, and so often they're just not able to actually penetrate the cell in the right way. If we think about the way that bacteria and viruses attack the body, often, you know, they can actually, you might need like 2 or 3 attempts of antibiotics to actually be effective in the first place. And also too, depending on the strain of bacteria that you've got. So oregano is a really awesome example of this. I'm not going to get you to drop it out and put it on your hand because this is a really hot oil. We've got to respect it quite a lot. This is one that through testing has been seen to be really wonderfully supportive for all kinds of different microbes. And so especially when we're looking at viruses, which can be pretty tricky to treat, and of course we can't be taking antibiotics for those. But the thing is that so I would use, say, oregano with my kitties. The best way for me to use it, and even just on myself, would be if one of my kids had a really high fever, then I'd be thinking, right, what kind of support can I bring? I'm going to dilute it safely in a carrier oil and massage it all the way up their spine, the base of their feet, especially if they're little kitties. And we know that with the carrier essential oils, because they're bound with another oil, they're going to have really, really direct passage into the body and right into the cells exactly where it's needed. So yeah, it means that extra threats that might be going on in our body, they just have a really, really effective way of treating, because the cell membrane is, of course, a fatty lipid. So we've got fatty lipid on fatty lipid. We've got it absorbing really, really well and getting right to the core where we need it. So yeah, that's the second fantastic thing about essential oils.
Awesome, thanks, Rebecca. I'll finish with the third one, and this one is very dear to my heart because when I started with the oils, I was a single mom with 2 boys, and I was on a benefit and was, you know, very cautious about how much money I was spending. And so the third amazing thing about oils is that they are cheaper than traditional medical care. And these top 10 oils can literally change your life. So they can transform and detox what you're currently using in your home. So everything from cleaning to replacing toxic skincare. But most importantly, as a mum, I felt that it was amazing saving on my time. So, you know, if your child gets sick, obviously you're always wanting to do the best thing for them. Or, you know, if you get sick, you want to recover as quickly as possible so you can get back to work or get back to university or whatever you do. So I am very cautious about time. Time is money. So I love that the essential oils can keep us well. So preventative, you know, prevention is worth so much more than a cure. So these oils have proven time and time again to keep my family well. If I feel a tickly throat coming on, I know I can straight away reach for the oils. So I would reach for, you know, Bex just said about oregano. I would get oregano, I'd get lemon, On Guard, all of these ones that are amazing immune boosters. When things come up with the kids, I am not taking them to the doctors. So I'm saving time taking them to the doctors. I'm saving doctors' fees. I'm saving prescription costs. Even though in New Zealand we're super lucky that we get, such great medical cover, it's always such a drag, when you've got little kids at home and they get a high temperature or something happens, and dragging them along to the doctor, waiting there they're always 40 minutes late on appointments. All of those things, I just find now my kids hardly ever get sick. 2, I'm super empowered when they do feel or start getting sick or start going downhill. I know exactly what to do because I've spent time, figuring out how to use these oils to help protect them and keep them safe and well. And 3, like, I'm my own little doctor for my family, and I can look after them, which is so cool. So other than that, the other cool thing, other than, the medical first aid kit, the other really cool thing about reducing cost in the home is making your own skincare and cleaning products. And I am not a DIYer. No, I am not a DIYer, but I can DIY with doTERRA because it's so easy. So I make all of my own cleaning products, and people are like, "Oh, really?" Like, "No, you don't." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And I show them, like, bottle, 1 teaspoon of the Castile soap, 10 drops of On Guard. That's my cleaner, and it's usually like less than $2 per fill. So I can make all of my own cleaning. I can make my own skincare with these top 10 oils. So it's super, super cost effective. And whatever it is that you're hoping to get out of the oils, I know that when you first start with the oils, you go, "Oh, that's pricey." When I first started, with the kit, I was like, "Oh, like, this is quite an investment." Yes, if you leave it on your shelf and don't use it, it seems expensive. If you use it every day and integrate it and learn how to get it into your everyday life, you start learning the value of the oils. And you understand that, 260 drops of peppermint is probably going to save you like hundreds of dollars worth of Panadol, ibuprofen, and then the, things to restore your gut, the kombucha, all of the things that you need to recover from using those medicines. So great investment. And not only was it a good investment for my family and saving money, but now I do it as a job, and I am very happy. And I'm currently not a single mother, so that's good too. Tick, tick. So back to Buffy. Buffy and Torrin. And they are going to tell us the 3 safe ways to use essential oils.
Okay. So, the 3 ways that you can use your oils. Every time you pick up a bottle, you're thinking, well, which way am I going to use it? Am I going to be able to use it? Oh, hang on. Would you like to get one too? Which one have you got? I'll show the ladies. Which one have you got? No, we love our oils. Other than oregano in the eye. Try that at home. So there's 3 ways that you can use your oils whenever you pick up a bottle, and they're either going to be aromatically, topically, or in the mouth, internally. So the first way that we can use our oils is aromatically, and that's the safest way that we can use them. So it's always where I like to start off for yourself as an adult, but also particularly if you're using them around children, like infants and kids, if you're using them for pets or around pets, and also for elderly parents or grandparents. So aromatic use is really, really soft and subtle, depending on how far away you are from your diffuser. Because that's one way that we can use it aromatically. You're probably going to be absorbing maybe 50 to 60% of those molecules into the bloodstream. And how that happens is that when I first started using essential oils, I literally thought, oh, those are just nice smells. They smell nice and that's great. And the lavender sort of smells calming. How they're actually working when we inhale our oils. So when we took our drop of peppermint before, smell, and then we smelt it. Can you smell your one? Yep. What's actually happening is if you hold the top of your nose like this, hold the top of your nose, up through there, what's going behind that little nose is your olfactory system. So everything that goes in through his nose and out through the back of his throat and through the mouth is actually a really, really absorptive area of the body, and any little compounds that go into your nose, along with, you know, essential oils, smells of fresh baking, petrol, glue, you know, whatever you like to smell during the day, what's happening is that it's going in through that pathway, being absorbed into the blood, into the sides of the wall, and then going straight to the bloodstream. And what's the biggest organ that's right beside this pathway? The brain, right? So it's the first place it's going to go to is the brain. Which is why if you go in for some surgery, for example, and we just took the little mate to the specialist this afternoon because he has to have a little surgery on his man bits because he's got a bit of a hernia, which is where there's a little hole basically, and his intestines coming out of the little hole. So they need to go and open him up and sew up the hole. But anyway, they have to put him under a general anaesthetic. So how they will do that is probably put a little mask over his face, and have him inhale some compounds. Now, when he inhales those compounds, or if you've had this yourself, within about 10, 15 seconds, lo and behold, out cold, fast asleep, won't feel a thing. And all they've done, though, is put something in front of his mouth and in front of his nose, and he's smelt it in. So nothing's touched his body, you haven't injected anything, but isn't that amazing that you're able to put someone out just with an inhalation of something? So that just shows you how the olfactory pathway works, how powerful it is, and how essential oils are going through that exact same pathway. So how I like to use them aromatically is a couple of ways. Putting it in your diffuser. Oh dear. Putting it in your diffuser, so I like to use 6 to 10 drops in my diffuser, depending on the size of the room. 6 for a child's room, small room, 10 for a larger room type thing, with water. We use a cold ionic diffuser. So the ones you would have got with your little starter sets are cold ionic diffusers. It means that the oils aren't heated, and it just uses momentum, like this, for the little particles to come out. That's really important because if we heat our oils, we lose a lot of the therapeutic benefits. So it's important that we only use a cold diffusion. You know, gone are the days, if you're a 1980s baby like me, where you had an oil burner from the warehouse and you burned your ylang. We don't actually want to burn our oils. We might want to burn the warehouse one, but we don't want to burn our doTERRA oils. So we just want to use a cold ionic diffuser. The other way you can do aromatic inhalation, though, is literally just, you know, from the bottle, bong styles. Can I have a smell? Do inhalation. Peppermint, fresh.
I don't think you should give him peppermint. I think you should give him vetiver.
You're right. I can take over if you like, Buffy. Are you all right?
No, I'm good.
Keep going if you want.
I'm good. So we can either take a little inhale from our bottle of oil like that. You can put a drop in the glass, in the palm of your hand and inhale, or in the diffuser. So that's our first way that we can use our oils. The second way that we can use them is topically. So that's the next strongest way. We know that around about 80% of what we put on our skin absorbs into the bloodstream. And so it's going to be a little bit stronger. Whenever we use them topically, we generally want to dilute. So either you can dilute with a carrier oil, and we like to use this fractionated coconut oil because it's really cost effective. It doesn't have a smell. Yeah. It doesn't have a smell. It's really lightweight, and it absorbs really nicely into the skin. It's really good for oily skin too. So if you're using it on your face and you've got oily skin, that's the #1 carrier oil that I would recommend to use. If your skin's a lot drier, I'd perhaps add to it something like rosehip or jojoba oil, that type of thing. The other thing that I love using for topical application is this. So you can get this through your doTERRA account. It's basically it's called the hand and body lotion, and it looks sort of a little nondescript, but it's beautiful. It's got things like sunflower seed oil, coconut oil, macadamia nut oil, olive oil, kukui seed nut, sacha inchi oil, tomato fruit extract. So all these beautiful moisturizing oils, but it's completely unscented, no essentials oils in it whatsoever. So it becomes your base moisturizer. You've got your base oil, you've got your base moisturizer, and you can use your topical application that way using this. So one thing I love doing at night after the monkeys have gone to sleep, hopefully soon, is to do have a hot shower or a bath, and then do a all over body moisturization using that cream. But you can target it to your body and your needs. So you might be using things like lavender, frankincense on your feet and your legs for calming. You might be using ice blue if you've got sore shoulders. You might be using Digest-Sen on your tummy. So that's the second way that you can use essential oils, and I am going to take that leave pass. Thank you, Rebecca McGinty.
Hey,
and over to you for the last way.
We've just had a question on Facebook from Beth Ann, and she just wanted to know the ratio dilution for children topically. So I will answer that one for you. So when we are using it with children, and all of us actually, I always think when you start, less is more, and it's better to use the oils more often with a lower with less at a time than waiting until you get sick and then using them all at once. So I always say little and often. Like Buffy said, really focusing on the aromatic first, but topical can be really awesome for getting onto the places like Buffy said, if you've got sore shoulders around the neck, or if you've got a sore knee, you probably don't want to diffuse the oils, you want to rub it on your knee. So with the children and adults, if we take a 10 ml roller bottle, which I don't have right now, you would put in the bottle, you'd put in 1 drop per year of age for children. So 1 to 2 drops per year of age, depending on the oil. So some of the oils are hot oils. So for instance, Digestion, Easy Air, and On Guard are all quite spicy. So, you do the 1 drop per year of age for these ones, and then top it up with the fractionated coconut oil. And with the kiddies, again, you can, if you've got a sore knee, you put it on the knee. But with children, say you've got something like a high temperature, or they're just not feeling well, a really cool place to put it is on the bottom of their feet. So from yourself that the bottom of your feet is not very sensitive, so it's a great way to test the oils, and the oils still get into every cell in your body within 20 minutes, so that's really awesome. And then for adults, start with up to 20 drops of the essential oils per 10 ml roller bottle to start with, and then you can go from there. So all of our bodies are different, and all of our bodies react really differently. So for instance, for me, if I put ice blue on and I try to go to sleep, I get hot and cold, and it's very crazy. So I know for myself that I like to dilute this one quite a lot. Whereas something like lavender or a tea tree that's really gentle, I can actually put that lavender directly onto my skin, and I know that's totally fine. But always start, less is more, and always start with caution when you start with the oils, and then build up over time as your body gets, as you get to know your body, and your body gets to, become more accustomed with the oils. So Rebecca is going to now talk about our third awesome, safe way to use doTERRA essential oils.
So it's the same thing again, just like Amy's saying. With internal use, and we call it oils being used as food flavoring, it's the same thing. We want to start out small as we go. So it's important again just to revisit that whole CPTG standard, which of course again is certified pure therapeutic grade. So quite a lot goes into that in the first place to actually make sure that these oils are incredibly safe. And so for us to be able to call them that CPTG is just absolutely brilliant. And so much testing is being done all the time, especially by third party as well, that we know that these oils are incredibly safe to take internally. As long as we check the labels on our bottle, it's always going to say whether it can be used as a food flavoring. And you can also go to the bottom of the bottle, and you can go to sourcetoyou.com, and it will tell you exactly how that batch has been tested too, because it gets tested all the way through. So we're never ever going to take an oil internally that isn't a CPTG grade oil. And then I think this is where labeling comes in really importantly, is that even though it might say that it's organic and that it's pure and everything, it still doesn't mean that it's going to be safe to take internally. And we do hear a lot of the time, oh my gosh, this person's had this terrible reaction, and you can't trust essential oils. So this is why it's just like with medicines, we have to have certain certification around it. And unfortunately we don't for all different oil brands. So one of the ways that I use oils internally, which absolutely saves my life because I've had sinus issues my whole life, I went through a couple of sinus surgeries, ended up having massive arterial hemorrhage from my nose and lost 2 litres of blood on the side of the highway on the way to Hamilton, just on the state highway. So that was really fun and awesome, and then got picked up by a helicopter. And even though, yeah, people go, oh, that must have been cool being picked up by a helicopter. I was like, yeah, but I was kind of trying to die at the same time, so it wasn't very fun. I use the oils for sinus issues. So getting back to the story. So for me, yet again, the oils that I choose are going to be quite gentle, and they're all food flavoring oils, which is brilliant. So we've got peppermint, lavender, and lemon, which of course are all in those top 10 oils. And so I will get a glass of water. And for me, because I've done this before, I'll use 2 drops of each. And this is what I do on waking. I often find that as soon as I get up, my nose just starts going. We've got jasmine planted all down the side of the property, which is about to be torn out and replaced by a wooden fence. And I'm like, yeah, even though I love jasmine so much and it just breaks my heart. And so I'll put 2 drops each of lemon, lavender, and peppermint. I know that peppermint, as soon as I'm taking it internally, I'm going to be breathing it in. It's going to be opening all my airways, opening everything up, unblocking all of the nastiness that might be up there. And then I'm using peppermint because I want to fight infection and I want to be able to cleanse the tissue as well. And then I'm using lavender because it is fantastic at supporting immune responses in the body. And that's why you would use it, say, if you have bee sting as well. And so I find that within 5 minutes, I've had an amazing effect. And so obviously this is the way that I use it personally. That works for me. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Wonderful way of being able to do it completely naturally without me having to reach for my antihistamine as well. So pretty good.
Awesome. That's a very serious way of using it as food flavoring, Rebecca. So I'd like
I know, but it's important to say, right? You can talk about the more fun ways.
So I like to use lemon in my dessert. I have got a sweet tooth. So like I would eat 3 blocks of chocolate if they were in front of me. So I try and steer away from that and do things like chopped up fruit. But then I'm like, oh, but I want some ice cream, but I can't because I've got a dairy intolerance. So coconut yogurt with a drop of lemon in, with a little bit of cut up fruit, absolutely divine, like so indulgent and so yummy and so good for you. Another one that I love in the evening is lavender tea. So just a drop of lavender in warm water is so beautiful, and it feels like it's giving you a hug before you go to bed. So the lavender oil is everybody's absolute favorite oil, and people think, oh, it's just for sleep, but it is actually it's a nervine tonic, so it really helps calm your whole nervous system down. So if you're ever feeling stressed or overwhelmed or anxious, lavender's the one to go to. So for me, I love it in a warm cup of tea, so either water or a plant-based milk, and then a drop of lavender oil in. Absolutely amazing. The other oil that my beautiful friend Pitt has suggested putting in my little milky lavendery goodness is a drop of vetiver, and it does make it taste a little bit more earthy and a little bit more hippie, but that's okay because it helps you have the best sleep of your friggin' life. I kid you not. So yeah, lavender and vetiver tea, or lavender and vetiver milk at night if you feel the need. But there are also some amazing ways that you can use it in baking. The best ways is really using it in raw baking. One, because it's super fast and you don't have to wait for things to cook before you eat them. And 2, you're still going to get all of those beneficial side benefits from eating the food. Yes, it tastes awesome, but say you put the lemon into your baking, you're not only going to get a great taste, but you're also going to get those cleansing qualities of lemon as well that help, clear you out and give you some, everything functioning properly in all of those down below areas. Plus the benefit of all of the citrus oils is that they're super uplifting for the mood. So, at 7:45 p.m. at night, you're still as cookie as I am. And I will pass over to Buffy. Buffy is going to talk about her testimonial. So what you have used, Buffy, that you love? What's your go-to?
Well, I'm lucky because I'm about 2.5 years into my oil addiction, and so I've acquired quite the collection, aka everything. So I have lots of favorites. But I have to say, time and time and again, I do come back to the top 10 oils that most of you guys will have, like, even if you've just got 10 and those are the 10 you have, to be honest, I do come back to those time and time again. My personal favorites that I use every single day would be, the top one would be Digest Zen. So I started using this when I was pregnant with Torrin and had really bad morning sickness, as you do, from sort of week 6 to 12. Where all you really want to eat is bagels, apple donuts, burger, fuel, cream of fries, and samosas. It's a good time. It's a really good time. Just roll with it. But anyway, I also was feeling really nauseous all the time. So that was I was using Digestin a lot. It diluted in a roller, about 20 to 40 drops in a roller, and rolling on my stomach, and I found that really, really soothing. I am no longer pregnant and I no longer have morning sickness, and yet I use this even more now. So I put this on almost every single morning after my shower. I'm really aggressive with my dilution levels. I don't dilute much. There's a lot of research showing that you can use essential oils if they're really pure. You can use them neat, so neat being undiluted, and I really like using neat use as long as it's on a part of the body which is not super sensitive. So with my digestion in the morning after my hot shower and in the evening before I go to bed, I do this. Oh, so good, belly rub. Feels so nice, but try it yourself. I can't describe how it is until you try it yourself, but it's just so cleansing. It's like having a really big glass of, after a big meal, you often reach for a peppermint tea, and that is inherently because peppermint has those digestive benefits. It's a digestive aid for the gastrointestinal system. So putting Digestin on topically has the same sort of effect. It feels really cleansing. It really helps with your digestive system to process properly overnight. And one of the main ingredients in Digestin is peppermint. So that would be one of my favorite oils that I use every day. The other ones that I use the most are a combination of lavender, which you have in your top 10, lavender peace, which is it's a blend. Lavender is only one of the components. There's about 10 other oils in there, and vetiver. So I don't have vetiver here because it's by my bed, but those 3 oils together is what I use virtually every single night in my diffuser. Sometimes I do cedarwood instead. Sometimes I might do Roman chamomile. They are your sleep oils. So I'm a busy person, a busy mind person, and in the evening I find it quite hard to shut off. And so putting those in the diffuser, I do about 10 to 12 drops total in the diffuser and put it on the 10-hour overnight intermittent setting. The benefit of that is it's like you've got a medicinal drip beside your bed. So put it right by your head. Remember, we talked about olfactory system. All night long, you're breathing in all of those compounds, which are going straight into the bloodstream and directly into the brain, directly to the nervous system, and calming the nervous system. So that, in combination with doing like a meditation practice, I use the Calm app, which I love. So using the oils and using the Calm app are both doing the exact same thing, helping you calm the nervous system to go to sleep. So those are my favorite 2 every day.
Awesome. And now I'm going to pick on Lainey. I know that you love the oils, Lainey, because you told me we went for a stroll on the beach together. So tell me your favorite ones.
Well, I've got two favorites that I have been using since I joined you lovely ladies about 4 months ago. So every morning when I am getting ready for work, I am using Balance on the soles of my feet. And I have found, I was in a car accident just over a year ago and had post-concussion syndrome. And so I had some issues, and I find that Balance has really helped me come back into focus. And I notice, like, when I am in a rush and don't do it that morning, I really notice at work that I'm not as focused. So I've actually got one. I have a bottle at work now, and I have a bottle at home. So that for me has been a big change for me. And then at night, I am using lavender on the soles of my feet because I have been an insomniac since I was a teenager. But I'm finding lavender and then Pitt's suggestion of vetiver on my big toe. And I am sleeping so well now. Like, my partner has noticed a massive difference in my sleep. So yeah, and I could go on and on and on and tell you about all the oils that I love, but those are my two favorites. And those are the two that I absolutely have to have in my life on a daily basis. So
thank you so much. I love it when people that have just started using the oils share their experiences with them. I've been using them for so long that I literally use them like 50 times a day and everything, and I just can't even imagine not having them in my life. So when somebody first falls in love with the oils, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So thank you for sharing.
you're welcome.
So our goal is to teach you how to live a more natural lifestyle. And for when things come up, you'll know which oils to reach for. From this one class, you probably feel a little bit overwhelmed and like, oh my goodness, there's so many, different oils. How am I going to remember them all? Blah, blah, blah. When you become a member of the Essentialists, you get a lot of support. So one, we've got our cool Facebook page that you can always jump in there, ask questions, and there'll always be somebody that's been through what you're going through and be there to help you with that. We also can, when you enroll, you get a free version of the Droply app, which is here. Super cool. And you can basically look up the ailment that you have, or you can look up the oil and be like, so I've got wild orange and I have no idea how to use that. How do I use it? And it'll come up with heaps of cool recipes. So that's super fun. So I'm sure all of you guys have got your oils already, but if you haven't, then grab them now, because why wouldn't you? Weird. No. When I first started with the oils, I was like, oh no, these are just for hippies. I'm just not into them. And I started with using the Lifelong Vitality, which is actually the world leading supplement range, and it transformed my life. And inside some of the capsules, there are actually essential oils. And so because I had my wholesale kit with doTERRA, and I was getting my Lifelong Vitality, and I was getting things like toothpaste, because I'd never found toothpaste like doTERRA's that works so well, even though it's natural. Weird. And things like the cleaning products. I was actually starting to get an essential oil free every month on what's called the Loyalty Rewards program. So I started really delving into them, and thought, freak, these are really cool little things. And the more I got into it, the more I learned, the more I revealed to myself. It was so weird. And now I think I'm turning into a hippie because I'm talking about my emotions and all of these things. But when you start, I don't know if you guys are aware of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So when you're down the bottom, it's like basically just getting your basic everyday things met. And for me, that was my health. It was really poor, so I used the Lifelong Vitality supplements to give me that energy and build me up, and sorting things out, like my family situation, my home situation, everything. So once those needs were met, I could then move on to the next stage, which was understanding my emotions and how to control my mood and those things, which the oils you can use them for too. Same bottle of oil, physical, cleaning, all those things, protecting your heart, protecting your personal space, moving through those stages. So when you start with the oils, start with where you are at. So when you first get your oils, you will be invited to do a wellness consult with myself or Buffy or Rebecca, and in that we will meet you where you are at and help reach your needs. So please take advantage of that wellness consult. We will not only teach you how to get the essential oils at the best price, but meet you where you're at. So it might mean that you start with either a wholesale account and a couple of oils, or you might go, oh yes, I want to get one of these beautiful starter kits, which are really cost effective. So there are different options for different budgets and different stages of life. And we can help you with that. But we all love free oils. So you must get on the loyalty rewards program and switch your shopping from where before I was going to all the different organic shops trying to find the right, organic shampoo and conditioner and the toothpaste and the supplements and all the things. And now I literally get like this little box sent to me once a month, and it's so much more cost effective and so much better, and I usually get a surprise little oil in there through the loyalty rewards program. So there are 3 types of people. This might sound a little bit judgy and a bit weird, but it's not. There are 3 types of people in doTERRA. No, so the first person is our customers. And so in the Essentialists, our customers make up 90% of who are in our community. And we love on our customers. We try and give as much value as possible. We give, Buffy and I purchased the app so that we can give it to you guys for free. We, contribute really cool things into the Essentialists Facebook page. We try and do as many events as we can. COVID, not so cool with the events, but we, we break a few rules here and there so we can see our people. And then the second type of people are those loved up customers that then just naturally go and share with their community. So you might, experience like Lainey, lavender oil and be like, oh my goodness, I can sleep for the first time in 10 years. This is amazing. And your friends and family will see the changes in you and they'll be like, please, like, what do I do? How do I jump on board? These are our people that we call sharers, and they are a massively integral part of our community. So if you share the oils with your friends and family, we love that. We look after them like they're our own. So we would go and do the wellness consults for them. We would do a class for you perhaps, or you could bring your friends along to one of these classes. And doTERRA rewards you this, with free oils, which is really cool. And the third type of person are the quirky nutbags that do this for fun. And we are called builders. And I have been working with doTERRA for 3 years, and I absolutely love it. The biggest, coolest thing about the working with doTERRA is not only the oils, it's actually the people. So seeing my friends' lives or wellness journeys start and progress over the last 3 years has been amazing. But for me, mentoring and helping other women rise up and helping see their lives transform through learning how to teach their first class, or learning how to, or stepping into something that's really scary for them and learning how to do like a wellness consult or an online class. For me, that's what I love about about working as a builder with doTERRA. The one dream that I am still to fulfill is working with doTERRA's Healing Hands program. So we have this amazing program that once you get to the level that I'm at, we can actually go to into the communities that the oils are growing in and do impact work. So in every country and every community and every farmer, we go in and can touch their lives. And the Healing Hands program doesn't go in and like tell them what to do. They ask the farmers in the communities what they need and go and meet those needs. So Buffy's been on a few of the trips already. Rebecca and I have been a little bit pushed out because of COVID, but we're going to be back flying to these countries and over the next coming years. So the company works with Operation Underground Railroad, who helps save and rescue and rehabilitate sex trafficked children and women. The Healing Hands also works very closely with an organisation called Days for Girls. So that's an organisation that helps give women and girls their days and their hours back around their menstruation time. So in days gone by, they would literally be put into the dirty pile, maybe out into a cow shed or outside of the family home during their menstruation. They were deemed dirty. So the Days for Girls has really transformed that worldwide. So the organisation goes into communities, into schools, into community centres, and teaches the women and the men how beautiful our bodies are and how menstruation is a way of cleansing and it's a beautiful way of reproduction and all of the amazing things that sometimes we forget about when we're grumpy and eating chocolate on the couch and thinking that's terrible. Well, just imagine being put in a cow shed with snakes around, with potentially sex offenders around. All of these things were happening to these young girls, and the Healing Hands Foundation has literally changed thousands of women's lives through education, through donating essential oils for mood and health reasons, and also putting together reusable sanitary packs, which is so cool. So that's just one thing that's super close to my heart, and one of the reasons that I love working with doTERRA. So now we're going to go into some question time. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop recording. If anybody's got any questions they want to ask first that you don't mind sharing with the group, that's totally cool, but then I'll turn it off so that we can really connect and answer any questions that are a little bit more sensitive. Just take your microphone off and talk, or if you're too scared to talk, put it in the chat.
I have one question. I got the Smart and Sassy.
Yeah.
What do I do with that? What's that good for?
Rub
Put it in your water and drink it.
Thank you.
What's that going to do?
It is so good for you. It helps boost your energy, especially if you're going out exercising and walking around out and about. It's great as helping with weight loss as well. The grapefruit in it is very powerful and helpful for that. So that's the other two. Yeah, those are the two reasons why I use it. So it's been brilliant for weight loss and energy for going out for those big exercise walky bits.
Would you take it like before you go out and exercise?
Yes, absolutely. I would put it in a glass of water. I put it in with Zendocrine, so it's my morning start. I start with Zendocrine and Smart and Sassy in a glass of warm water, and then get my butt moving.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Quita. Yeah, so if you're having it in your water, always make sure that you put it in a glass water bottle, so you can sip it throughout the day or have it, you know, in one go in the morning. So it's super helpful for helping stabilize blood sugar levels, helping with cravings, and just helping with detoxification. So our body naturally detoxifies, but the oils in the Smart and Sassy blend are really super boosting for that. Helps our bodies to help itself. But I did say rub it on your butt, and I wasn't joking.
It does work for cellulite.
Sorry, Lainey?
It does work for cellulite.
Yeah, so so it is actually really helpful to get that detoxification process happening in your how old are you, Tony?
27.
You do not have cellulite, girl, but maybe one day you will. Maybe you can help somebody that has cellulite. But yeah, putting it that tube that Buffy held up, that beautiful moisturizing tube, is a really good one. So a little squirt of that, a drop of Smart and Sassy in that, rub it on your hands, and moisturize it into the you know, pockety love bulges around your buttocks and thighs.
Or dry brushing with it. Use a dry brush.
So how would you do that, Joe?
So it reminds me of a horse brush. That's what it looks like. It's about that big, and it's got like bristles about this big. And so generally I put a couple of drops on before I get in the shower, and then it one direction. You just up and down the skin, like all over your body when you're naked, before you get in the shower. Up your arms, inside your arms, down your, follow your lymph glands, legs, your butt, and then have a shower. It's really nice.
Okay. Can you come and give me a horse brush, Joe?
Can you make for me?
Totally. Just imagine if you had like a servant to do that for you.
I know. Well, it's really nice. If you go to like a day spa, they can do like a dry brush for you. So, you can't afford to get it done all the time. So it's nice to, do a cheapy dry brush for yourself.
I just feel so like awkward doing myself. Like I do it, but I'm like, I just want somebody to get like the bits that you can't reach, like around the back, Like even though I've got a long handle on mine, I'm like just imagine if somebody was watching.
No, that's why you do it in total privacy.
Shut the door. There you go. Done.
Okay, should we move on? I can answer the dermatitis question if you like. Since we're just talking about metabolic oils, this is a really good chance to talk about it. I think if you've got any dermatitis issues to do with gut health, if you're looking after your gut health with the oils, and most of the oils are beneficial for gut health, then I think you'll notice quite a difference. It all depends if you've got any infection going on there, if it's at what stage you're trying to treat the dermatitis. Lavender is a really, really beautiful one because it's nice for supporting any kind of bacterial infection. It can be quite good. I think for mild cases of dermatitis, your cedarwood and your lavender are really wonderful to start with. If it's a dry skin condition, your frankincense can be a little bit too, it's toning, so I tend to avoid the frankincense. It can make the skin itchy. And also you'd want to avoid fractionated coconut oil if it's a dry skin condition, because yet again, that's for more oily skin types or normal skin types. And so I look for a carrier oil that's going to be really nourishing, like an apricot or a jojoba or an almond. I find apricot is just incredibly lush, and it just sits in the skin really nicely. So the best blend that I've got right now is myrrh. Myrrh is incredible for any kind of itchy skin condition, and even if you've got cuts or scrapes or anything. And I combine that with cedarwood because it's really fantastic at helping to regenerate the skin cell. And then cypress, because cypress is a really awesome antimicrobial oil. So they're the three that I blend together that I find have the best results. But I think with dermatitis, it's very different according to each person, and obviously according to whatever is the reason for the dermatitis and what kind of dermatitis it is.
I'm just going to jump on and say, Mrs. Dermatitis right here, the lifesaver in my life, lifelong vitality.
Mm-hmm.
So it has the omegas in it that help with the healing of the skin and, you know, new skin growth. The antioxidant blend, which obviously does everything to help heal and repair the body. And then the multivitamin blend, which, you know, I think a lot of what was causing my poor gut health and my dermatitis was actually really unbalanced, missing a lot of things out of my diet. So because the body or the or absorbing food, you know, you stop absorbing the things you need. So, you know, getting on that multivitamin has been such a freaking lifesaver for me. And when I don't take them, I literally start flaring up again. So I know that it's directly linked to the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So if anybody's on here that hasn't done a wellness consult, please do a wellness consult. Please get on the Lifelong Vitality. Buffy, over to you.
Yeah, I love all the points that the girls have said, and what I would just say with any natural therapies, like with conventional medicine, every person's body is slightly different. Your background's different, your history is different, your genetics are different. We are made up with the same. Like, I mean, we're all monkeys, but our history, our childhood, and you know, the 20 or 30 years that have gotten us to where we are today is different. And so as a result, everyone responds slightly differently to different herbs, different plants, different oils. So the key with any natural remedy that you're trying is that you just be patient with what you're trying. If you try a certain blend, it doesn't quite work for you, then just, you know, be open to trying something different, because eventually you will find something that works really well. And that's why it's wonderful to have our community available to you, so you can ask these types of questions on, for example, the Facebook page, and because you'll actually get real-time experience and feedback from 10 other women that have also had dermatitis, and they'll all have a slightly different take on what worked well for them. But, you know, from that you'll be able to make an assessment of, you know, what you try first. I certainly would agree with what Rebecca has said, you know, not necessarily the fractionated coconut oil, because remember we said it's really, really light. Good for oily skin, can almost be drying for really dry skin. I mean, I don't find it drying on myself, but it's not a really thick, lush oil at all. So using something like apricot or almond or jojoba. Rebecca was saying lav, cedarwood, myrrh, cypress. I've also found juniper berry and helichrysum to be helpful. Helichrysum is a really healing oil in general, and so is juniper berry. On the supplement side of things, lifelong vitality certainly, because you're going to make sure you have all of the vitamins and minerals and coenzymes needed inside of your body to properly renew. The cellular renewal complex in particular is really good for skin regeneration. And then you've got your omegas, which, remember, omegas are like the fatty outsides of our cells. Remember, all of our cells have got a fatty membrane outside on the outside, and as we age in particular, that all sort of gets all dry, sort of dries up. And so omegas help to keep that nice and oiled in our body, on our skin, but also in our brain. In our brain, so that the information flows well and we have good mood and don't get dementia, that type of thing. Other thing I would recommend for dermatitis is it's always an immune issue. So looking at the immune system, boosting the immune system with immune boosting herbs, using things like On Guard, even diffusing On Guard overnight, because that's going to help to boost your immune system. And perhaps doing a course of PB Assist, which is a dairy-free probiotic. We're doing a couple of courses of PB Assist to really repopulate the gut with good bacteria, and lowering stress levels. The classic one, right? The classic unachievable, but stress will trigger the immune system, and that will trigger your eczema, dermatitis, asthma type symptoms.
My stress levels are being triggered by your child right now.
Yeah.
Off the charts.
No, he's just probably going to put something through your painting.
Yep, we just signed him up. We just moved him from 9 till 1 to 9 till 4, and then I just messaged him and was like, no, 9 till 5:30. We'll take it all.
That's so. Oh, he's so good.
Only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday stuff.
Oh, why?
But he's a tyrant. Hey, You're tired. Any other questions? Jamie, you had one more question. It was around sinus, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think someone mentioned something earlier, so I got a bit of stuff that I've written down, but the dermatitis stuff is really helpful. It's actually not for me, but for my partner.
Okay, because I was thinking,
But
we've talked about that
we
before.
haven't talked about that.
So interestingly, is the sinusitis also him?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, go figure, right? Because
Yeah.
this is this immune picture that's happening, which can manifest in dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, sinusitis, asthma, hay fever. It's okay. We're good. Hay fever. And all of those come back to the immune system. So boosting his immune system with some good quality immune boosting herbs, and I can send you some blends, Jamie, but echinacea, astragalus, olive leaf combination, using On Guard and diffusing that by his bedside overnight or during the day, and definitely doing lifelong vitality plus the PB assist.
Yeah, cool.
No dairy. Sorry.
Yeah,
No
trying. I'm trying that one. It's not going down well.
That's free, right? No dairy.
Yeah.
Eliminate probably 90% of your sinusitis conditions.
Cool.